In the last tutorial, we got Podolsky set up and began working with the arpeggiator. In this tutorial, let's continue working with the arpeggiator and see what kind of rhythmic madness Podolsky is capable of. Now, if I start my pattern right now, you'll hear a very video game-ish sound that is moving from a very basic arpeggiator pattern. Let's work on both the sound and the pattern and see if we can get a more defined pattern that grooves in the right frequency. First off, let's get the pitch fixed. Arpeggiated bass lines are a major component of electronic music, so it would make sense to use Podolsky in such a manner. But in order to get a bass, we need to lower the pitch of our oscillator. Let's go on over to the synthesis page and take care of it now. Within the synthesis page and under the oscillator section, which is what produces tone in all synthesizers, I'll lower the tune down to -12. Now, the arpeggiated bass line sounds like a bass line. Let's give it a groove. I'll remove any and all voices for a couple of the steps within the existing default pattern. Alright, by eliminating any voices on step 2 and step 7, we now have a basic bass line, though it's playing back pretty fast. You may notice also that the length of the arpeggiated pattern is not playing through all 16 of the steps within the pattern. This is because the sequence that I programmed is only one measure long, and the gate length in which I played each note are only 8 steps long each. Because I don't need this many steps in with the arpeggiator, I'll reduce the number of steps in the arp to 8 instead of 16. This will ensure that later on, no matter how this pattern is used, it'll still play back the same basic pattern we are programming right now. Now, let's give this bass just a little bit more bite. I'll assign envelope 1 to the cutoff modulation of the filter and raise the modulation amount slightly. Then I'll lower the filter cutoff until I get more of a bite. Though in order to really hear that tightening effect that we're looking for, we'll really need to adjust the envelope itself. I'll lower the sustain down all the way, which will cause the filter to close down much more. And then lower the decay, which will also close the filter down just a little bit more. But because the attack is all the way up, the filter will remain very open when a note is initially triggered.